Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you to a new episode of Out of the Park Baseball 21, this time with the Philadelphia Phillies. Last episode, I was fired. I'm not mad about it. I'm incredibly furious about it, and I hope that team never wins a World Series again. But I've got to be the bigger man and admit that they're a bunch of jerks, and that I hope they get what they have coming. Um, Before we get into what's going to be happening today, I want to talk about a couple things about the series that I want to see change in the future. So, we're getting to the point where I'm getting a tiny bit burnt out on this series in particular, and I think the burnout comes in from the fact that we keep changing teams. Um, And while that worked for the World Tour that I did for OOTP 20, for OOTP 21, I like to have a team that I can sit back with, I can watch it grow, and then we can let it flourish, like the Orioles series. So, we're going to start changing the rules. And I'm going to start changing the rules once we hit 1900. So, how am I changing the rules? Instead of changing teams every time that every time we win the World Series, I'm instead not going to change teams until I've played a specific number of years with a given team. So, for example, if we are probably thinking at least 10 years with each team, maybe 20. I don't know. I don't know what would lead to the most engaging gameplay, and I'll certainly take your suggestions in the comments below under consideration. But I do know the one thing that is definitely going to happen is that I'm not going to change just because I won the World Series. And I'm doing this for two reasons. First of all, if the point is to show you guys the tour of history, a gimmick like that doesn't really have to be there. And second of all, I'm trying to keep myself more engaged because I find it frustrating to have a team, build it to a reasonable level of success, and then lose it. And while it kept things fresh early on, I just don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm at the point where, especially without free agency, especially without other ways to get players, the only way to really have success is to build the team from the ground up. And so, starting in 1900, I will take whatever the worst team in the league is, and we'll go from there. The reason I'm not committing to the Phillies for this series, by the way, is just because I've already done a long run as the Phillies in a previous OOTP series, and I just don't want you guys to get bored. I need to adjust my microphone. 1 second. There we go. And with that said, now we can begin. So, we are the Philadelphia Phillies, obviously. And it's time to start reviewing what we've got and what we might want to get rid of. Well, let's start by looking at the batting ratings, and let's start sorting through our players. Roger Connor is the best hitter on our team. Overall speaking. He's also legitimately an awful first baseman, so that even when he hits well, he gives most of it back in the field. That's a problem. And I don't think this is something that we can afford to carry. I just don't. Charlie Bennett as catchers go is pretty solid, but again, he's on the older side. Mike Slattery is probably one of the building blocks for this team's success in the future. He's young, only 23 years old. He's a very capable center fielder, and he's a quality hitter, too. This is the first player I consider to be untouchable. I consider him to be part of the genesis of this team as it continues to develop. Well, this is boring. Let's sort by war. I think that's going to give us the best sense of who is the most valuable and who is the least valuable. Shorty Fuller is a tremendous shortstop who can't really hit that well. That's got value, and at least he gets on base, right? So he has some offensive ability, but he's going to be valuable because of his glove. And we're going to count on him to help carry this team for the short term, although he's definitely going to be replaced before this team can be truly competitive. George Gore's a veteran. I'm not really going to mess with him too much. Same with Jim Whitney. Can Con Daly be the catcher of the future? He certainly has the bat for it, but I deeply question his actual ability to play catcher for a full season. I'll take an unusually talented backup for right now, but I think catcher is another area we need to worry about solving. We have Bob Gilman Allen, who is basically Shorty Fuller. Look, there's very little to separate these two players, and I'm curious as to why the Phillies took both of them. Because he's basically just Fuller, but with a bit more pop in his bat, I guess. I certainly don't need both of them. And we can definitely consider trading one of them once we know who we want to keep. Joe Quinn is the definition of fine. He certainly doesn't inspire any great loyalty in me, but he is what he is, and what he is acceptable. And then past that point, we've got a bunch of players, none of whom have been particularly inspiring. So one of the things we definitely need is we need to actually start building the core. And I don't know how we build that easily when we don't have much in the way of pitching either. Now, Jim Whitney had a wonderful season last year. Truly excellent. And he is only 32. So, I mean, as far as top of the rotation guys go, I'm fine with that. Bill Hutchinson was okay, I guess. And then Amos Russi was garbage. But he might get better, I guess. I'm not sure. With only 8 control, though, he's going to be walking so many hitters. I don't think he's worth keeping. And so what we basically have here is not much of a team. And it's going to be a team that's going to take an incredibly long amount of time to properly build, to a point where they are useful. And to the point where, first of all, please stop. And second, let's set it that way. Because I don't want my starters pitching in relief when I've got so many bullpen guys. But yeah, right now we're at a point where basically nobody is bulletproof on this team. The only player I feel any affection for whatsoever is Mike Slattery. Of all the players on this team, I can still see him being on this team in 5 years. And I can't say that for some of these others. So we're going to start by hiring a new assistant GM. And we're going to take, I guess, Bobby Bahunin, because he really wants to be an assistant GM. I can live with that. I mean, he's a hitting coach, but if he just wants to randomly change jobs, who am I to tell him no? Now, here is our biggest issue. Ooh, very nice. We are above the baseline. We are excellent. Stop. Why are we spending international scouting when it doesn't exist? That's just a dumb game. Come on now. And then I'm going to spend a bunch on minor leagues. I'm going to spend the rest on Major League Scouting. There we go. I like this ratio because we spend the most time scouting the players that we're most likely to need. Now, in order to get this build started correctly, we need to identify players who are dragging us down. And I think Roger Connor is first on that list. As amazing as he is offensively, his utter ineptitude at first base has gotten to the point where he's turning an MVP into just hot garbage. And, I mean, is it good to have someone who can provide some offense? I guess. But if we look over his career, he's gotten steadily worse at defense. His last good year was 1888. Now, the other thing to consider is maybe he just had a really bad year with the glove. Because on the whole, he's actually been a plus defender at first base over time. So we could simply look at this and tell ourselves, don't worry, he'll bounce back. And maybe he will. And honestly, without Roger Connor, we have no offense whatsoever. So maybe it would be worthwhile to keep him. But one thing we definitely want to do is we want to get younger. We want to find players that are older that don't provide enough value, and we want to replace them with younger players who will. And we also need to solve the Shorty Fuller, Bob Gilman Allen quandary. Two players who are almost identical. And I don't know why the Phillies even drafted Allen, because I just drafted him. Except that he is a slightly better hitter. We can maybe give that a season, though. We can maybe give it a season to let this shake itself out. But honestly, they're basically the same player. Why did you do this, game? What caused you to look at Shorty Fuller and say, I have a really good shortstop. I'm going to get a player exactly like him. I guess in case he spontaneously combusts? Who knows? I sure don't. Let's sim up to the winter meetings. I don't think I'm going to trade anybody this first season. I think we need to sit back and relax. A gold glove for Mike Slattery and Charlie Bennett. Very nice. That's probably the beginning and the end of our awards. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. I would like to click on news, and I'd like to find out if any of my players won awards. From Brooklyn, Ed Mckean was first baseman again. That's lovely. The Silver Slugger was the Bean Eaters. Of course it was stupid Boston. Rookie of the Year was also a jerk. Yeah, whatever, dude. It's the base stealing and the fact that he somehow hit 371, which I'm pretty sure even historical Slidin' Billy never hit that well. I guess he did. Maybe I made the wrong decision when I passed up on him to pick Hugh Duffy. Oh well. Good old Silver King and his thing. I guess we're not doing phrasing anymore. It's fine. All right. So we have Huey Jennings, Bill Dolan, and John McGraw. There's a lot to like among all three of them. All three of them Hall of Famers, albeit for different reasons. John McGraw mostly got into the Hall of Fame because of his managing. I'm tempted to take McGraw of the three. I'll have to give it some thought once it's actually time for the draft. All right. Anybody here deserving of a Hall of Fame spot? So far, like, the mind-blowingly amazing players just aren't here, right? Because the really great ones are still playing. Like, there's really nobody here that I look at and I instantly say, yes, this player needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, this is putting people in the Hall for the sake of putting people in the Hall, which I just don't agree with, because we have a number of players who might have been, like, perennial All-Stars, but that's not a Hall of Famer, right? Our Hall of Fame should start with some of the very best players to ever play Major League Baseball. And I'm not really enthused by any of these players. I might submit a blank ballot again, because just nobody here is deserving, in my opinion. I'm just going to go ahead and submit an empty ballot. And I know that kind of makes me seem like a jerk, but this is me truly saying I'd rather have no one in the Hall of Fame than any of those players. I mean, consider this. Right now, our Hall of Fame is comprised of Cherokee Fisher, very deserving. Dick McBride, pretty deserving. Al Pratt, again, fairly deserving. We're already getting into people like George Zetline, who is kind of meh. And Al Spalding. And Al Spalding in particular, I know why he was elected. He was elected in real life because of his contributions to the game of baseball, so I have no issue with that. But this is not the kind of Hall of Fame that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible. These are the greatest players to play baseball. It's 5 pitchers, some of whom were pretty decent, and some of whom were not so much. I don't know. I just think we need to wait until we get the truly greats and start putting them in the Hall. I think that gets us closer to where we want to be. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to first year player draft. Unknowingly, I've got the number 3 pick. Fucking spiders. And what I find so annoying about that is because there's only 3 great players, and I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to force me to take the one I want the least. Which would actually be Huey Jennings. Jennings wouldn't be terrible. I guess we should wait and see who gets taken when. There goes Jennings. There goes Dolan. So I'm going to get the one I wanted anyway, which is John McGraw. This is an on-base engine who plays at an incredibly important defensive position. I am more than satisfied with making him one of the cornerstones of my franchise. Alright. We could definitely use another starting pitcher. Especially since Amos Russi seems unlikely to stick for very long. And I think Mckean here is a good choice. So I will take you as my second round pick. I guess I could take Bert Inks and just let him develop in the minors and see if he turns out to be somewhat surprising. But I'm happy with taking a player like that. Alright. And then we're honestly at the point where everyone else here is pretty much the same, so I'm just going to let the AI go ahead and pick who they want. Ideally, I wanted a deeper draft than we got. I've only got one possible starter this season, and I kind of don't even want to start him this season. I kind of want him to play in the minors for at least a full season and see how it goes. Like, we're going to need a lot of talent to have anywhere near an impact. In the majors this season, and we just frankly don't have that talent. We have 2 or 3 reasonably good players, and then we have a bunch of players who are just who range from mediocre to actually bad. And I think we're going to probably start clearing some deadwood once we get an opportunity. A trade proposal. You'll give me a really old reliever. Just no. Fuck off. You're interested in neither one of these jerks. Alright, John, I'm gonna put you in AAA. Oh no, you're already in AAA, perfect. Alright. Let's make good use of the Rule 5 draft, because Lord knows we don't have much in the way of actual talent, so if we can find someone who might be helpful, we're gonna take him. Alright, Charlie Sprague, you are bad. Frank McLaughlin, I don't need a center fielder. I don't need a catcher. I could take yet another shortstop, but that would be dumb. Yeah, these are bad players. I'm just going to go ahead and say autocomplete. Oh, literally Charlie Sprague was my player. Well, I don't care. I don't care. Nope. Good, nobody got elected. And no one should have been elected either. I could see it like someone like Candy Cummings, who's also an IRL Hall of Famer, because Candy Cummings was the person who allegedly invented the curveball. I don't know if I believe that story, but it's a story that's certainly commonly told. Alright, let's make this real simple. Stop asking for my backup catcher. You can't have him. Is there anyone I can trade? I keep coming down to these two, right? Why do I have 2 players of approximately the same skill set? Like, there is literally no value to having both Shorty Fuller and Bob Gilman Allen. There's just none. Shorty Fuller is definitely short, so you know. Actually, are you being a jerk again? You are. I pay my scouts to do my scouting. Please stop telling me what OSA thinks of my players. Because I don't care. Yeah, there's a lot of not good on this team. And just players that are just getting rid of them would be addition by subtraction. Why did Joe Farrell even get 2 at-bats last season? He's not even good enough for that. Alright. I'm just gonna start cutting people. Frank Decker, you're gone. No one's gonna give me anything for you. Morrison, you gone. Geis, you gone. If nothing else, we're clearing up 40-man roster spots, right? Amos Rusi, I don't know if it's worth hanging on to you for the chance that you might eventually learn how to throw strikes. Especially when my scout is basically like, nah, dude, you're never going to work out. Yeah, dude, if I keep you, you're going back to the minors. You're going to pitch in the minors and see if you can figure it out. Bitch, Mckean is a starter. Don't make him into a reliever. I never gave you that right. I think actually that is the one change I'm definitely going to make this season is I'm going to go ahead and send Brucey to the minors. See if we can get a spurt of control, and then I'm going to have either Mckean or Inks be my second starter. Or my third starter, rather. Yeah. Cassidy, you gone. And now we're getting to the point where I actually want to trade players rather than just get rid of them. Because there's a chance I could actually get something useful for them. Farrell, you're gone. I'm not even gonna dignify your garbage with a response. I guess what I should be doing is taking these players that people keep trying to trade for and then trading them myself. He's increased my budget, which is great, except there isn't anything like free agents, so I can't really do much with that budget you're giving me. But thanks. Alright. No big changes, some decent changes, but no huge ones. Okay. And up to spring training. It doesn't make any sense. I agree with you. God damn it, Mullane. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, game. Immediately stop changing his position. He is not a reliever. He's a fucking starter. I'm gonna call up both of them, and I'm not even gonna let Rusi pitch in spring training. He needs reps in the minors before I'll even consider letting him play in the majors. That looks fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and let you reset everything. Just for purposes of spring training, I don't mind if we have players playing a lot, and then I can make some decisions based on that. I don't know how I'm winning spring training. I find it kind of frightening, to be honest with you, but I guess that's okay. I genuinely don't know how we just won 21 games in spring training, but here we are. Um. All right, we got 34 players. You need to get down to 25. I have 11 pitchers. I probably don't need that many, in all honesty. Mckean, you made the roster. Inks, I want you to pitch in the minors for a bit longer. That brings me to 10 pitchers, leaving with 15 hitters. I can live with that. I don't need 4 catchers. That's frankly absurd. That's too many catchers. I'm going to trade Krieg and see if I can get any kind of offer for him. I mean, I could get Bill Kuhn to play third base. I certainly don't have much at third right now. Yeah, alright. Alright. I'm going to start grabbing players and just trading them for the first reasonable prospect I can get my hands on. Billy Hart, welcome to the team. So apparently Pete Gilbert was an asshole, which makes it even smarter to trade him, right? Ed Kennedy, you sort of play third base okay, and that's the only thing that anyone would ever play you for. How's about I trade you two? No one wants you. That's fair. I'm gonna go ahead and waive you and take you off the 40 man because you're just that bad. I have a whole slew of outfielders that I really don't need. Alright. AAA. Oh, you refuse to be demoted? Alright. Gone. Oh wow, I didn't realize that the fans secretly loved Fred Mann. Well, that's life. I'm running a baseball team, not a charity. Anyone want a center fielder who's not very good? They don't. I guess I could just waive him. 3 more players to get rid of. I have way too many outfielders. Like, stupidly huge numbers. McCartan, you're an okay backup center fielder. Mullane, you're bad at both of your jobs. You're a player who kind of gets on base sometimes and isn't an embarrassment as a pitcher other times. You may well be the Apollo of the box, but you're also not very good. Still we have to get rid of 2 more outfielders. I like McCartan as a backup. I don't like Moynihan at all. Why am I should at least be trying to trade these guys, right? You never know what people might want. Oh, I can't because of reasons. That's right. I'm just going to release you 2. And then Myers, I will go ahead and waive you and see if I can sneak you back to AAA. There we go. We have a roster. Many of them play baseball or reasonable equivalent. Yes. All right. Pitching staff setting time. Let's go for the rotation. Whitney and Mckean are definitely 1 and 2. And Mr. Bob Barr, you can be the third starter. As for the bullpen, I really don't care. You can all kind of do your own thing, and you'll figure it out. So I'll just leave this as is. I see no reason to mess around with that too much. All right. Lineups, bench coach, do your thing. I'm gonna let you decide how this gets set up because I frankly don't care. Because this is a team that is highly unlikely to be very good, even under the best of circumstances, and just getting players reps is going to be big in terms of figuring out who might be and who will not be part of our glorious future. So that's where we're at. And a lot of this season is just going to be, can John McGraw develop more? Can I get some separation between Gilman Allen and Fuller? I don't know the answers to either of those questions just yet, but I hope I will soon. McGraw, I'm going to shortlist you so that anytime I get any kind of information, same with Inks, anytime I get any kind of information about either of you, I want to be notified. I want to know how amazing you're doing. I'm just making sure I have forced representation. Nope. Please do it. Hey, look, every single player I try to pass through waivers, all of them went through waivers. I'm not at all surprised. Hey, Mckean got a shutout. Very nice. That's a good way to start your major league career, right? Henry Moore, you're a bad player. If you really don't want to be here anymore, I will happily trade you for the first good offer. And I won't even hesitate. Okay. You get on base, but that's it. That's not ideal. You really get on base, and you've got a few other offensive tools. You might be an interesting player to have on the team to see if you can develop. You're a legendary third baseman who can't hit. I've already got one of those. I have John Souders. Souders could be a very good starter one day. But I'd rather have somebody really young who might be able to make significant improvement, and so I'm kind of thinking about John Kelty. Because if we just give him some time to marinate in the minor leagues, we might get something impressive out of it. And you know what? Maybe we won't, but I'm willing to do that in exchange for a whiny shortstop who should have kept his mouth shut. I got Rookie of the Month. Very nice. How many shutouts does Mckean have already? Oh, it's on, let's look at expanded. He's already got 2. Damn. Well, let's check on player development. Roger Connor's getting old. We kind of figured that. Mike Slattery is getting even better. Okay, John McGraw is basically already saying, "Put me on the major league roster, you cowards." Like, holy shit, dude. But I'm still gonna keep him in the minors. I want him to play just a little bit longer in the minors, unless we're like, guys, if we're like might win the pennant, I might call him up earlier. But something tells me that's not very likely. Jimmy here, I need you to stop talking and shut your face. Can you do that for me? Can you shut your face? Yes. Actually, I don't know why you're not playing more. You're actually a really good hitter and a really good left fielder. Who are we playing besides him? You're hitting third. You don't get much more middle of the order than that. What the fuck, dude? Quit your belly aching. Is this one of those things where the AI's like, I'm gonna swap him every 3 games or something? I don't know what else I can do for you. You're a hitter in the middle of the lineup. So stop talking, and when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. Now, if John McGraw made another huge leap in ability, I'm almost certainly going to have to activate him. I can't do it. I can't keep him in AAA any longer. He just keeps getting better. He's like, baseball is easy. You know what? John McGraw promoted. I'm gonna try to trade Irvin and see what kind of offer I can get for him. I'm actually getting a reasonable chunk, and I will actually take Souders. I think he's got a fair bit of potential. Alright, and then whoop-am. Wait, where are we short? Game? Oh, I'm missing a pitcher because of Mullane, aren't I? That's right. I don't want to call up Ink, so I'll call up Hart instead. You can be like a middle relief guy. There's your 10 pitchers. Lineups. I'm going to tell my bench coach to refigure things. John McGraw could be the most amazing leadoff man baseball history has ever seen. It does look like he has a bit of an issue hitting against left-handed pitching, but frankly, I can live with that. I thought... I didn't see you there. I'm sorry, game. Go ahead and pitch in AAA for right now. So here's the problem, Jim. Nobody wants you. I tried to trade you, and everyone was like, no thank you. No one wants your whining, disgruntled ass, so shut the fuck up. And deal with it. If you wanted to be in the starting rotation, maybe you should have tried sucking less. I'm just saying. He is ecstatic. It does feel kind of bad that I took John McGraw from the New York Giants, but I'm sure they'll survive. Right, coaching staff. I mean, Candy Cummings as a pitching coach isn't the worst thing I've ever heard. If you're good for Mckean, I'll keep you. I won't hesitate to bring you back for that. All my minor leaguers come back. You all know that's the rule. And then I'm the only other person whose contract is up. Now, Bill Kuhn, I might trade. What can I get for him? I could really use some quality offensive talent. Which I guess is the big issue, is that offensive talent just doesn't exist that players are willing to trade for. Because it's mostly defense first catchers, and a guy like Mike Trost isn't terrible, but he is in this era because he can't make contact, and if you can't make contact, you're not very good. I will take Blofeld. I don't think I'm likely to get much better than him. Can I get him too? No. I could take Ed Swartwood. Like, he's a terrible fielder at this point, but he can still hit. Although I think he's erasing any ability with the bat by his terrible play on the field. No, huh? A player like Sam Wise wouldn't be the worst thing to have. Ooh, Sam Wise is apparently a good egg. That's nice. Oh, this is why he's complaining. Because George Gore is batting farther down the lineup against left-handed pitching, as he should. Because he's not very good at it. I know you're dominating in AAA, my dude. I'm just not going to be willing to give you much more than that. Why would you call him the Hoosier Thunderbolt? He's from North Carolina. Did he play for Indiana? Yeah, I don't know about that one. Alright. Jim Whitney and Abner Powell both made it, as did Mike Slattery. So good for us. Oh, Brooklyn, why did you move Ed Mckean back to shortstop? You took a gold glove first baseman and decided to put him back at shortstop where he's just the worst. Whatever, I guess. I don't like seeing pitchers lose control. Please stop doing that. I do like seeing John McGraw just be like, I'm the greatest ever. I will carry this team on my back if I have to. Good man. Whoa. What an opening to a season. I'm not benching Roger Connor for you. Unless Roger Connor is playing like shit this season. Which he's not as good as he used to be, but he's still an effective hitter. And he's still a train wreck at first base. Okay. I gave you a season to figure your shit out. You haven't. I like how Jim McCormick's tune has entirely changed. He's gone from, you better start me or else, to, please start me. Interesting. Not interesting. Not interesting. I will pass. Actually, I think we trade Roger Connor at this point. Jack Lynch is a good pitcher, and Bill Gray is a good catcher, but I don't need either of those positions right now. Alright. We're going to trade Roger Connor. He no longer hits for contact. Yeah, let me do a shop around. And I will actually take anything at this point. I want to get the very best player I can in exchange. Because this is going to be extremely unpopular. For sure. I'm seeing a lot of mediocre players being offered to me. Dick Burns is not one of them. Dude, I will turn you into a full-time outfielder. Without hesitation. Our team needs a good offense. Dick Burns is currently winning the contest. John Sneed, not so much. Tom Lynch, no. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take my mediocre first baseman and pick up an amazing right fielder. I'm sorry that you're sad, but you're gonna get over it real fast. Because if you don't, I'll have you killed. I didn't say that. Actually, I guess I did say that. Oh, right. Do the things, please. And then I think we might trade Vince Daly and see if we can get a good prospect for him. Because he's a right fielder who gets on base and might hit for contact. And Dick Burns does both of those things a fair bit better. I mean, he doesn't really get on base all that often, but that's fine. Yeah, daily is probably more than we need. What can I get for you in terms of prospects? I'm getting a lot of decent offers for that, actually. Not a lot of great offers, but a lot of decent ones. Good old Jake Stenzel is actually a reasonably good hitting center fielder. Like, his defense is kind of trash, but I could move him to a corner. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to put you on the 40-man because I have to. Then I'm going to shift you to left field, and I'm going to send you to AAA. I'm actually going to force you to play at left field. Because let's be honest, Mr. Stenzel, you are definitely not going to be playing in center anytime soon on this team. Let him develop a bit. Look, how telling me all of these players are postseason eligible, like I'm going to be making the postseason. That's pretty funny. Some reasonable improvements in the minor leagues. I can get behind that. Charlie, what I understand is you need to stop complaining. That's what I understand. Alright, we didn't make the playoffs. And we didn't expect to either. We were actually very respectable, which actually makes me a little bit annoyed. I still think we'll get a top 10 draft pick, but we won't get one of the game changers. Holy fuck, Baltimore. Calm the fuck down. Yeah, there ain't no way in hell Baltimore loses this World Series. I am so tired of people whining to me. I would like all of you to shut the fuck up. I invite you all to go fuck yourselves. Like, oh damn, haha, Baltimore. You lost. I still have a job, which is a great start. My team trainer retired. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Alright. It's time for Season 2. Electric Thing. Trainer ratings, please. Let's hire this guy. This Mike Fowler guy seems like he's pretty good. I mean, he is bad with arms. Maybe that's something to consider. Yeah, we'll hire Jerry Duncan. And then I lost one of my managers, and it's the Rookie League manager. So I want coach tendencies, and I want the best reputation. Bill, welcome aboard. You can manage a bunch of flying squirrels. We've made a pretty big strides this season. And I think the next thing that's going to happen is I think Charlie Bennett is going to be removed from the team. Because I do agree with Colin about one thing. He's definitely too good to be kept as a backup. And even though I know he's not a great catcher, he's a pretty good hitter. And I'm willing to give him a shot as the everyday catcher. So I think Charlie Bennett is going to be traded this offseason. I mean, he's had a good run, right? He's been tremendous, and I think there's a very fair chance that he could be a Hall of Famer. But I think his best days are behind him. And it's time for out with the old, in with the new. John McGraw is amazing and is most definitely going to be the cornerstone we build around. How did Burns do the rest of the season? He did pretty well. I think Burns is going to be another very welcome piece to this offense. Mike Slattery was incredible. Holy fuck, was he incredible. Like, son of a bitch. That's like MVP caliber incredible. Damn, dude. We've got enough talent on this team that I feel pretty good about where we are, but I also know that we could be doing better. And I think this draft is going to be a very important one. I still don't know what to do about the Fuller situation. Yes, I do. I get rid of Fuller. Because here's the thing. The thing you're asking Fuller to do is something he's legendarily not very good at. And I know he's a great shortstop, but so is Allen. And Allen can also get on base at a much higher clip and won't embarrass himself as much when he gets there. So, Shorty Fuller, I'm going to trade you. But I'm not going to trade you for just anybody. Let's go to the trade block. There's literally nobody here. Okay. New plan. I need to find... What do we need more than anything on this team? So we're set at center, third, right, catcher probably, and that's it. And shortstop, when Gilman Allen is given his spot. So we need second base, first base, possibly left field, maybe catcher. Alright, I would like a player list. And I want to start by looking at first baseman. Like, you'd have to be pretty stupid to give me Ed Mckean, right? Like, there's got to be no one on my team that even gets him over here. I suppose it couldn't hurt to ask, but I've got a feeling that they're just going to tell me to go fuck myself. I have to give you Slattery. That's not happening. What if I gave you Shorty Fuller? Okay. Done. Ed, I'm never going to make you play shortstop again. You are not here to play shortstop. You are very much here to play first base. First base. Okay. That is a gigantic move. I really like that we were able to pick him up for basically pennies on the dollar. I love that move. Because now we're talking about a potentially very, very good Phillies team. And this is a very rapid turnaround. I'm not saying we're going to be anywhere near the playoffs in the next 2 to 3 seasons, but I think we're very close. Especially with Whitney and Mckean. And if I call up Inks, we'll have a full 3-man rotation. Yeah, there is a lot to be said for this team right now. I think we're going to turn some heads. Let's consider something, right? We were 13 games back, which is obviously not good. It's Wee Willie Keeler. Yeah, I mean, I know we could have done better, obviously, and I still don't think we're... I don't know. A full season of John McGraw could be massive, right? Bennett, Gore, and Slattery all won Gold Gloves. Very nice. McGraw won Rookie of the Year. It was kind of an easy decision, I think, for them. I guess we'll go up to Hall of Fame voting. Not Oscar Walker. Oops. Hall of Fame voting begins. Please and thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm not voting for any starter with less than 200 wins. That's a non-starter for me. Get it? Get it? Jimmy Wood is getting there in terms of possible first hitters, but Jimmy Wood might be the first hitter that I vote for. Or maybe not. I mean, he was real good for 1 year, and then he was just kind of mediocre the rest of his career. I think what's hurting a lot of these players is defense. There's also Charlie Jones, who we remember when we played as Keokuk in Detroit. He was pretty solid. You know what? I'm going to go ahead... Because you got to get at least a couple hitters in the... but you're not very good. Like, this is the dead ball era, right? How could I possibly consider voting for someone with less than 2,000 hits? I can't. The one thing you're meant to be doing in the dead ball era is getting a lot of singles. And these are players that had okay careers. No, I'm not voting for any of these players, once again. And I feel really bad that I keep doing this to them, but I'm just not seeing anyone there that I think is worthy of the Hall. Alright, I'm not even going to bother with most of these players, because I'm only going to get the number 8 pick. And this is a very, very bad draft, it looks like. I don't care who I draft. I'm not going to sign him. I'm going to take another first-round draft pick next year, please. Yeah, I don't want him. I have a third baseman. Dan Mahoney. He's at least a decent catcher, but again, I'd rather have the pick. Jim McCormick. God awful. Will Thompson. Who cares? I'm signing none of these players. And I will happily enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly players I don't care about. Okay. Nope. Oh, they finally convinced Kid Gleason to hit, even though he's bad at it? Alright, dude. Whatever. It's no skin off my ass. Okay, let me make this incredibly clear to you. Fuck off. And don't stop fucking off until you have reached the end of the trail of fucking off. Why on earth would I give you a player of this caliber for pennies on the dollar? I'm a little salty he didn't even get MVP consideration, but I guess it's because the team wasn't very good. They punished him for it. Like, whatever, dude. You elected Jimmy Wood as our first ever hitter into the Hall of Fame. I strongly disagree. And I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he was a pretty okay second baseman for a while, but yeah, I mean, I know he's got this Hall of Fame monitor shit. He's got some gray ink, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I would have voted for him, and I didn't. And as the first ever hitter in the Hall of Fame, it kind of irritates me, but as long as Lip Pike doesn't get in, I don't really care. Like, guys, he's bad. He's really, really bad. And unless he's had just this insane career as a manager that I'm just missing, no. He's not a major leaguer. Stop. Whatever, dude. Mike Slattery is just phenomenal. That's all I can say about him, really. Now, the Charlie Bennett conundrum. Yes, thank you for the compensation picks. There was nothing on this earth that would have convinced me to sign any of those garbage players. I'll happily take another first-round pick in a draft where I've got more say. Alright, we have a number of starters, including Bill Inks, who probably deserve a shot to win a job there. I'm going to let Gardner pitch in the bullpen. I'm going to let Freeman pitch in the bullpen. Other than that, I don't really care. Okay. This is incredibly annoying, OOTP. Please, fix this random I set everyone to OSA because reasons. I'm always going to want my scout to be the one scouting. So please stop, thank you. Do we trade Bennett? Now, here's the thing. Colin Daly can 100% handle the bad aspect of it. He's a better hitter than Bennett and everything but raw power. But Bennett is a multi-time Gold Glove winning catcher. And even when he doesn't hit like last season, he's still very valuable. And so I guess my question is, do I break up a good thing? And I think the answer is maybe. Like, last season was the worst season of his offensive career. Without question. He didn't have it last season. And he is, crucially, 37, which means he's only going to get worse. On the other hand, he is an amazing defensive catcher. He's just super good, right? And that's why I think we keep him, but I think we maybe reduce his workload a bit. I think that's right. I think that's what we do. They really love Amos Russi. I don't know why. He still can't throw strikes. Oh my god. Stop. Under no circumstances do I ever want you to have the OSA set up. Please have my own fucking scout set up. Why do I know the name Jim Whitney? Didn't you pitch for Boston? Oh, no, you didn't. I'm thinking of someone else. Jim Britt. That's the guy I was thinking of. He's the one that played for me in Boston. John McGraw is only 18 years old. He'll figure it out. Oh, I need to do the thing, don't I? Here we go. Alright, roster time. Who is not going to be on the Major League roster? Russi? I'm sorry, I know you've got nothing left to learn in the minor leagues, but until your control can at least be okay, I can't risk having you in the majors. And I probably am actually going to end up trading you when I get an opportunity to do so. I just can't trust you. Do I trade Bob Barr? I don't think I do yet. I think I'd rather just send these extra pitchers back to the minors and let them keep improving. That leaves me with 11 pitchers. I don't need 11. Oh, one of them is Mckean. How do you keep getting put back on the roster, Mckean? I don't want you. Here. And then Stenzel back to the minors. Oh, I do need another player now. I could use an infielder. Yeah, I could really use an infielder right about now. someone who can ideally play all of the infield positions, at least reasonably well. I guess Connie Mack should have been a catcher. I'm going to trade Connie Mack, and I'm going to see if we can't get an infielder out of it. Look, I'm just looking for a utility guy, right? My demands are not high. All I want is somebody who can play at least 2 positions with reasonable skill. With reasonable skill, game. Charlie Bassett looks like he'll fill the role nicely. He's a really great second baseman, a pretty good third baseman, and he can not embarrass himself at shortstop. Welcome aboard, Charlie. And then I still want another player to play the middle infield. Like, Holland isn't a very good hitter, but he might be my best choice. Because Hutchinson only plays second, and Holland is at least okay at short. There we go. Welcome to the big leagues, I guess. And then I'm going to go ahead and let you set the staff. And the lineup. I don't know why you're letting Gilman Allen hit 5th over George Gore, though. I think I have to intervene. There we go. Like, I know Bob Gilman Allen is really good at getting on base, and he has a decent bit of power, but I want him to play for a full season before I put that kind of pressure on him. I like how Bassett, who is supposed to be a utility guy, is now my starting second baseman, but that's where we are right now. Okay. Let us play through another glorious season. Oh no. Our team is ruined. Well, that's not fair. You're not allowed to injure my best player. That's very mean, and I don't approve. John Kelty, I guess? Like, McCartan can fill in at center. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about being short on outfielder. So I guess it's going to be Stenzel. I'm going to erase your game strategy. Yeah, I'm going to call you up. I'm going to go ahead and let my bench coach set these lineups. Yeah. I can live with that for a short time. Hooray! Stenzel. Back to AAA with you. Alright, Big Mike. Carry us to the next level. But no, stop complaining. You're hitting 6th. I know that maybe makes you a bit cheesed, but you're going to deal with it. Colin, I need you to be a team player. You're going to be the catcher someday. I just need Bennett to stabilize the pitching staff. So, stop complaining, or I will launch you out of a cannon into the sun. Why do you think anybody wants Charlie Daniels? Like, seriously, what is it about Charlie Daniels that you think people find attractive? Very nice. Huh. The reliever hit 4 homers? Nice. Okay, Buck Freeman is legitimately a good hitter. Like, he legitimately has lots of power. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. I had no idea. How's it going this season? Alright. Gore, you're getting pumped up to 5th to clean up, I think. Maybe. I guess we're doing okay. I guess I shouldn't mess with a good thing. I don't know that promoting somebody 2 spots in a lineup is going to significantly change our fortunes. Alright, Charlie Bennett is getting to the point where he's barely replacement level. I'm going to trade him, and I'm going to see what we can get for him. And I want the best player available. I don't care what the cost is. If we can find someone who significantly upgrades the existing staff, we're going to take them. Unless it's yet another shortstop that we don't have use for. Henry Moore is a very fine hitter, but I have nowhere to play him. I mean, there's Ned Williamson. The problem is, though, is that Ned Williamson plays third base, and I ain't benching John McGraw for anybody. They're going to have to do better than that. Like, ideally, I'd want an outfielder or a second baseman. Can either of you play second? No. But yeah, outfield and second base are the 2 positions that I could really use some improvement in. You can hit Howard, but you can't play the position. Nope. I mean, I could just take Fenley and be like, figure out second base in your old age, maybe. But maybe not. I could get an all-world reliever like Bob Black, who is fantastic. How's our bullpen been this season? It's been pretty underwhelming, actually. You know what? Bob Black could be the answer to a lot of questions. I'm gonna at least look and see if there's another player here that I could grab that would improve our chances, but I have a feeling that there isn't. Milwaukee Brewers. It's our old pal Cap Anson. Absolutely not. Oh, this must have been Brooklyn. Brooklyn must have become the Milwaukee Brewers for some random reason. Whatever. I'm just going to make this trade. I think that's fine. And now we have Bob Black as our main reliever. I think that's going to help us out a lot. All right. I know the fans are sad about losing Charlie Bennett, but it had to be done. Hey, 300 wins for Jim Whitney. Well done. Coaching, right. I don't think I'm going to bring back Jesus Alvarado because I have Dan Moreno, who would probably be an improvement. And I definitely think Brian Dalton is going to be my manager next season. Or my bench coach, rather. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. So everyone in the minors, you get re-signed. You can never leave. It's like the Hotel California. Is there something we can do to bump ourselves this extra notch to glorious success? I don't know that there is. I don't know. I think we're more hoping for the Giants to cool off than we are for us to heat up. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement in players like Dick Burns. All right. Whitney made the All-Star team, as did Powell. Ed Mckean made it, and that's it. Really, John McGraw didn't make it? I mean, McGraw's contact's not quite as good, but other than that, he's a damn fine player. Oh, well, I'm sure he'll make more than a few All-Star teams when all is said and done. Ed Mckean is just like, I'm just going to start hitting baseballs better if that's okay with you. Trust me, my friend, it is more than okay. Who's the best starter? Jouette Mckean. Let me make this incredibly clear to you. Go to hell. I think that was clear enough, don't you? We're so close. Ugh. Bob Gilman Allen, you are exactly what I hoped for when I gave you this job. So well done, full marks. Con Daly is getting on base, as expected. Is there anything I can do? Is there any position that's so weak that even a minor change might improve? I mean, Charlie Bassett's a black freaking hole. Quinn can actually hit. But the thing is that Bassett is... Oh, God. Bassett has been a nightmare. Bassett is really holding us back. Alright. Changed. Quinn is back in. Bassett can fill the role he was always meant to, which was as a great backup. And that's all I ever wanted from him, is I just wanted depth, and instead he ended up starting, and I'm not okay with that. Oh, I see. Is Daly like a much better hitter against left-handed, right-handed pitching? He is. I'm fine with platooning my catchers if that is what gets us the best results. But yeah, I'm not fucking playing dipshit McGee there anymore. Alright. Let us keep going. Alright. I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if I can't find a great second baseman by offering Amos Russi. No. You're an amazing defender, but you can't really hit. Alright. Is there anyone on the trading block? Tons of people. Okay. Are any of you good second basemen? There's Fred Pfeffer. Pfeffer news. Yank Robinson can't play second base. Otherwise, I'd consider him. Fred is a really good power hitter and a really good second baseman, and I don't know what to do with that information. Or even if he would be necessarily an upgrade. He'd probably be pretty cheap, right? Like, I don't think I'd have to give up very much for him at all. But is he an upgrade over my existing second baseman? That I'm less sure of. What other position could I use an upgrade at? I mean, heck, just playing Joe Quinn itself might be a big upgrade. A really great outfielder? What if I look at all outfielders? Is there a great one being offered? There's Emmett Seary, who's about as good as George Gross. Yeah, I don't think he's enough either. I think we just stick with it and hope that the rest of the season goes well for us. I don't think there's really an alternative. Because I just don't see a 1 or 2 win improvement anywhere on this roster that would make me more comfortable about the team as it currently stands. I think just improvement is a fair thing to ask. But I do think Dick Burns is probably fairly close to not playing very much anymore. Heck, maybe I need to force Denzel to get some right field under his belt too, right? Let's make him everything he can be by just getting him used to playing all the different outfield positions. And at the very least, what have I made? I've made a fantastic fourth outfielder, but possibly a starter. Alright, all we need is a nice winning streak. We did it! Friends, we fucking did it. We won the fucking pennant in our second season. Let's drink this in for a moment. We took a team that was 59-81, and we took them to the playoffs in 2 seasons. That's pretty damn impressive. And we should have been even better, which is what's really hilarious. Can we win the World Series this year? I don't really know. I hope we do. We are against Baltimore, though. And I think Baltimore has kind of been the Yankees in our timeline, right? No, they've actually never won the World Series. They've been there twice, and this will be their 3rd year in a row. All right, what do we got? We got an early win. We got a second one. We're up 3 games, my friends. Bam! World Series. The Baltimore Orioles are quickly becoming the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball. Look at that shit. I am so unbelievably impressed that we went from... I mean, granted, it wasn't that long ago that the Quakers were 4-time world champions, but... like, holy shit, my dudes. We did it. I completed all my owner goals. My owner better freaking love me. And Jim McCormick and Bob Barr both retire. Oh. What a freaking season, man. I kind of don't want to lose this team. I think we've built a really great team, and I don't want to leave it. And I don't think I will. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to stick with the Phillies either until I get fired or until 1900, and then I will switch to whichever the worst team is. I know we've already seen the Phillies be successful, but, man, worst to first in 2 seasons is pretty spectacular, and I kind of don't want to miss out on the chance to repeat, because we might. Like, we absolutely might. And I'm excited to see where that gets us. Jim fucking Whitney is probably going to win a Cy Young Award. Again, how boring is that? But yeah, acquiring Ed Mckean, drafting John McGraw, trading for Dick Burns. This is my team. I fashioned it in my own image. Punting on Charlie Fuller for Bob Gilman Allen, who just had an amazing season. All of my moves worked out. Even Con Daly getting to start at catcher worked out for us. And he's finally not complaining constantly. I have a wonderful rotation, and I've got so much talent in the minors that I can probably build a second major league quality rotation. And if we suck at stealing bases, who gives a shit? I don't. Let's bask in the glory of this victory. Because it might be our last one for a bit. But we'll see. Ed Mckean. This was his team. Like, look at this shit. He just steps in and he says, fuck you. I'm the best hitter in Major League Baseball. And he might well have been. He could get an MVP. John McGraw took everything he learned his first season and just did more of it his second season. There's still tons of room for him to grow yet. But what we have right now is pretty damn good. Mike Slattery, if not for his injury, he would be in the MVP discussion too. And he's the MVP of my heart, really, because he's a phenomenal center fielder who destroys baseballs. Gilman Allen was a breath of fresh air. And we're keeping him forever and ever. George Gore is good at getting on base, and he probably deserved to be more toward the top of the lineup, but we can talk about that. Dick Burns is on pace to have a pretty bad season, but he really started to heat up toward the end of the season there. I still think we need a new right fielder. I don't think, of all of our players, he's the most expendable. Con Daly had a good season. Joe Quinn existed. And, okay, we had some pretty bad middle infielders. But pitching. Like, just acknowledge for a moment the absolute insanity of 3 Cy Young caliber pitchers all in the same season, all pitching their damn hearts out. Like, wow. I don't know where this fucking season came from for Bill Hutchison, and I don't think I ever expect him to do it again. But holy shit. I love this team. Yeah, we're sticking with it, for sure. For sure. Alright, friends. So, we're going to stick with the Phillies until 1900, and then we'll see how things are going. We might even, maybe, possibly, consider sticking with them after 1900. But for now, we dominated, my dear friends. And also, an F in the chat for the Orioles, who are like, yeah, man, we're making the World Series. Destroyed. World Series destroyed. World Series destroyed. In the immortal words of Booker T, we are now the five-time world champions. Nice. But look at the... I'm really excited to see the... Oh, no, wait, this is actually the same team, isn't it? Yeah, this is the same team. It's the Browns became the Orioles. I believe that is accurate. We do teams. Oh no, the Browns still exist. They just went from being like utterly dominant to not so much. Man. What a fucking season. Alright, friends. That'll be it for now. Until next time, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching. And I bid you good day.